Hey guys, welcome back for another 5-minute market update. Just kidding, not going to be 5 minutes. You know how it is. On the 4-hour time frame for BTC, we see a new TBO close long that was printed here literally on this previous 4-hour candle because in about 3 minutes, we're going to see the new daily candle form. Now, this isn't terrible, given the fact that this is the first one we've seen in a while, especially after this big move from 74K all the way up to 97K, a 30% move. We're seeing our first one, not the end of the world. So one thing that we're going to be looking at for this is if you're concerned about this and you haven't taken profit up here, protected profit, what I like to do is when the price of BTC prints one of these, then we wait for the price to return back to the TBO fast line, which is at $95,000 right now. So we don't want to sell it here. We want to wait for a snap back up. But the truth is that we actually have a new CME gap that's formed. On the daily time frame, it is the smallest, wimpiest little gap that you'll ever see, but it still counts. So from the current price up into the gap, it's a move up about 2.2%. So I'm keeping this in mind, thinking and expecting for the price of BTC to snap back up higher. So this little move right here, rather this little symbol right here that might seem scary, it's not really such a big deal. It's just a reminder that there's a chance that the trend could turn bearish. Therefore, if you haven't taken profits yet, do so. That's just what it means. And also have confidence that this is probably just going to be a short-term move because the 4-hour slow line is pointing up a lot. On the daily time frame, the slow line has flattened out. It's not really trending up at all anymore, but it's not terrible, I'll say. Now, daily RSI did move below 70, which is to be expected. I mean, guys, we were overbought here for, let me get the actual number. Yeah, we're overbought for 10 days, which is insane. That's a huge streak, by the way. So I'm not surprised that RSI has cooled off, especially because the price of BTC was just chugging sideways for a while. We had a nice pop here on Thursday. Friday just barely held, Saturday, Sunday. Weekends were falling. That's okay. That's all right. It's not such a big deal. And again, we have an upside target for our CME gap. So I'm happy with that. And even though it was the weekend, the volume wasn't terrible. We've seen some really low volume weekends, so not so bad. But we really need to see a big burst of volume to exceed this yellow moving average line in order to really stay bullish. On the weekly time frame, we will have a confirmed bullish cross above. There it is right there. The on balance volume moving average, which is slowly starting to angle down. Not the greatest sign, but again, volume is weak. Weak on the weekly. So it's not really a good sign. RSI is starting to peter out here at about 61. We really want to see it close above 70 because when it does, that tells us that there is a strong bullish uptrend intact. So not the end of the world, nothing really terrible to see right now, in my opinion. So there it is. Now we do have a possible pullback down here to the TBO fast line, which we haven't seen touched since back over here on the 16th of April. So there's a chance that we might get another drop down of like 2% to touch that before springing back up. But again, we have this really new CME gap. It's not that far away. I think it's a pretty easy target, to be honest. Ethereum doing absolutely nothing. Ethereum looks super boring. And again, RSI fell below overbought values above 70. It's putting in lower lows. Well, lower in this range. I guess it's a lower low. We're not looking like low down there. But it's not terrible. But again, Ethereum has just been really boring. We're not seeing on balance volume shooting up dramatically higher and higher and higher like we have seen for Bitcoin. So there's just no demand for Ethereum still. Can it make a rebound? I think so. And we're seeing the early start of this on the weekly time frame for sure. I mean, this was our bottom here on the week of the 7th of April. We had a really nice move up of 12% 2 weeks ago. Last week, marginal. And here we are. We're kind of petering out. But the next target is going to be the TBO fast line, which is currently, it's that number right there. It says 22.25. So from the current price, that's a move up about 24%. I know it doesn't seem likely, but we have been overextended from the TBO fast line for a long time. We are now on week 13, which is crazy, especially on the weekly time frame. So I'm not really worried about it. Nothing really firing on the 4-hour time frame right now at all whatsoever. So not really a big deal at all. Solana, this one has a new CME gap as well. So Solana has a CME gap down here at 122.45, and now a new one up here at 148.15. So from the current price up, it's about 3% or so. If we go to the watch list over here, yeah, it looks fine. So we're probably going to see it snap back up to close this, I mean, honestly, today. And one thing that's really good is that going back here to the TBO fast line, again, we have this trade setup called the TBO Springboard Bounce. My target, honestly, short term, is going to be back up here at about 156 or 157 where TBO resistance is. It seems crazy, but it's not that big a deal. I mean, it's not that unattainable is really what I mean to say. Now, RSI is really showing signs of weakening here, but I'm not really worried about it. I'm mostly focused on the fact that it's fallen down here to the TBO fast line where I'm expecting it to bounce back up. Volume needs to pick up. All bounce volume needs to change. On the weekly, it's almost touching the TBO fast line on the weekly, which is insane. But close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, as the saying goes, right? Nothing really blaringly terrible on the 4-hour time frame. Things are just kind of chugging along. Now I have a couple of these charts I want to share with you. There's just one chart that has a newly closed TBO close short, and that is Kava. It had a nice almost 5% close yesterday. Now this symbol is like super duper high above our TBO support line, so it's not as valid in my opinion. But the last time we saw one of these, we saw the price of Kava move up about 10%. I think that something like that to repeat is possible. And of course, we have TBO resistance here at 56.20. And I think that's a good target for Kava personally. Now we have some information here with these green flags identifying either a TBO open long or a TBT bullish divergence signal. Now, why is CAS here or CASPA? CAS is here not because there's anything really happening on any other time frame except for the daily. And the main thing that's happening is that we're getting the price retracing back to the TBO fast line. We saw this happen last week. After it did this, it went right up to TBO resistance for 16%, like I said it would. And we're right in the same spot. I would expect it to move up another like 12% just below this level of resistance. But the main thing is that we're going to see lots of charts having a pullback, coming back over here to the TBO fast line and probably having a bounce this week. Not today, but it'll take a couple of days in order for it to materialize, in my opinion. QNT, I think it's Quant. This one had a really nice close on this newly closed daily candle yesterday, up 7.5%. Look at volume coming in and outperforming the moving average. Look at on balance volume slowly increasing. Like this is really good, to be honest. And RSI continues to make higher highs, which is a good sign. On the weekly, it has retraced back to the TBO fast line. That's good. On the 4-hour, it's looking really nice. Really ugly TBO breakouts right here. But price action wise, yeah, this chart looks amazing. DEXE on Binance, and I believe it's also on, I want to say KuCoin as well. Yeah, there's a couple of others. Let's do KuCoin, WobiTX, Gate.io. Yeah, there's a lot of other exchanges. This one printed a TBT bullish divergence signal here on Saturday. Now, the thing that you have to understand about these signals is that they're much more valid when the TBO slow line, the slowest moving average, is moving in favor of the signal. So if this is bullish, we want to see an ascending TBO slow line. And that's exactly what we're seeing. So this is actually a really good bottoming signal. Note where the price fell to, by the way, TBO support. And now it's up 10% so far. That's a nice signal. Immutable X, this one printed a TBO open long on Friday, and it has since fallen back down where? To the TBO fast line. So this is the normal pullback zone. My guess and my expectation is that IMX is going to pop up from here, not 20% exactly, probably around 16%, but I think that it's reached the TBO fast line after having a nice push up higher. It's not, in my opinion, it doesn't really have that much reason to fall lower. So I think we're going to see another springboard bounce here. FLR or flare on OKX. This one had a really nice pop yesterday. Wick to wick looks like 21%. It's a really, really nice ascending chart. We've talked about this one a while back, saying this one's ready and due for a pop. And we saw it move up quite a bit since then, which is great. Volume's looking really good. All balance volume is climbing higher, forcing the moving average to go higher. Weekly time frame, it's starting to look really good again. We really want to see it go back into overbought territory on the weekly. On the 4-hour time frame, this is just crazy. This is good price action, especially for trading. BTT, this one printed a TBO open long on Friday, and it almost retraced all the way back to the TBO fast line, but not quite, not quite. But on Sunday, I had a really nice pop of volume of 12%. My expectation is that it'll come back down here to the TBO fast line, touch it, and probably do another repeat. Maybe it'll go up 20%. We'll see. Zcash printed a TBO open long, even on a red candle, which is kind of funny, I think, because usually we think of TBO open longs as being green. Now, this one is really weak in its price action, especially in volume as well. This is on Binance's chart. Like this should be really, really, really crazy, and it's not. But on balance volume is above the moving average, which is slowly starting to form an elbow joint going higher. So I'm looking at this thinking that we'll probably see it, if not wick here again to the fast line before shooting up again. It might retrace back down to support. It's just a really weak looking chart, even though we have a TBO open long. Onyx coin. Now, this one has had some pretty amazing price action, especially this rally that happened in early April where it shot up 230%. It's now since fallen back down, but the TBO slow line continues to move up and up and up. I can't draw this really well with this trackpad, whatever, on my laptop, but if we go back over here to the 4-hour time frame, now we're seeing something really interesting. If we look at the TBT bullish divergence signals right here, we have a cluster actually right there while the TBO slow line is moving up higher. So this is actually a really bullish reversal signal for Onyx coin. That's really, really good. If we go here next, Core had a pullback. We can see that the TBO slow line is angling down. We had a drop of about 12% on Saturday. Sunday closed up marginally 4%, but bouncing here and going right into the TBO fast line, even though it exceeded it by 5%, it's actually pretty decent for a pullback, especially for that TBO Springboard Bounce, which we see happen a lot. So this will probably shoot back up to resistance short term here to 78.13, which is only like 7% or so. Yeah, 8%. It's not really that huge, but these are the kind of pullbacks we want to look for entries on. ACT, as in the AI coin, the one that's massively oversold. Yeah, that one. We're getting another TBT bullish divergence signal printing on the daily time frame. Now, this chart still looks terrible by all means. I mean, on bounce volume is not really shooting way back up higher. Volume is dead. RSI is starting to show weakness again, yet we're seeing these bullish divergence signals, which is interesting. So keep that in your back pocket. Ton coin was rejected at resistance, especially over the weekends, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But I don't think that this one is necessarily done for. I just think that it's really struggling to break above this resistance level, just like it was back over here in late March. So if we see things continue to be weak, we'll be looking for an entry here at TBO support at about 276 and waiting for it to bounce up higher. SUI, this one I mentioned last week that RSI was putting in lower highs and was showing a lot of weakness here, especially going super crazy overbought above 90. That's a huge, huge level. On bounce volume has been moving back down, but the moving average is moving up. Volume has fallen down a little bit, but weekend volume, it's pretty normal to see it low. The main thing that I'm looking for, you probably guessed it, is a TBO Springboard Bounce, meaning that I'm waiting for the price to return to the TBO fast line, grab an entry there, and then catch the next bounce. That's the most likely setup in my opinion. Last but not least is OHM. Now, this one continues to be massively oversold. On bounce volume is massively bearish. Volume is massively bearish. On the 4-hour time frame, you might remember from last week, I said, we have TBO breakdown. This usually precedes an explosive downside dump, essentially. And since that signal, we've seen it fall down about 13%. What's interesting right now about the price action is that you can clearly see that OHM has retraced down to the 0.786, not exactly to its all-time low, or not all-time low, but recent low here at, I have to get the right number. Here, 0.37, so 37 cents. But this is pretty exciting, mainly because even though we have these breakdowns here and the price looks massively bearish, TBO looks massively bearish, we're getting at this point where it's a recent low. There's a decent chance that Ohm will actually bounce from here, not hugely. I'm not expecting like this massive, huge bounce up like 137%. That's silly. But we have to respect the fact that it is near support. Now, daily time frame, massively oversold. Everything looks terrible. Everything looks bearish, but we are nearing a local low. Now, if this level of 37 cents breaks, oh yeah, this will be coming next, 19 cents or so. So be really cautious and careful with this guy. But for all of you that are risk averse and you don't mind the volatility and you don't mind using DCA, this is a pretty interesting area to enter, or at least start a DCA position where you're buying some here and then you're prepared to buy more 48% lower. So just keep that in mind. So for all of you that want to get more um, market analysis, trade setups, watch list, I just shared the May watch list last week, which comes with a video, and also DCA bot templates. You have to go to thebettertraders.com and you have to click on the link here for a club. Join the trader or the pro tier. The trader tier gets you the TBO and the watch lists, trade setups. The pro tier gets you everything. And I also want to remind you that I will be in Toronto next week, actually, which is wild. So in 10 days, I will be in Toronto at our first ever Better Trader Summit in partnership with Altrady. I'm so excited to do this live in-person workshop, but there's more it's more than just a workshop. There's actually a lot of stuff that we're offering and including on our side and also Altrady's side. Go to the website now, see what we got for you. And until the next time, you know what to do. Stay awesome and stay in the green. Peace.